Hello, I'm Peter Bergman. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be updating you with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is an absolutely wild day in the soap universe, and we are so ready to break down the latest Genoa City bombshells with all of you. Make sure you are seated for this one, because the drama is off the charts. Let's jump right in. Okay, I literally cannot believe this. Can we please process this mess together? Might delete this later, but I seriously can't stay silent about this anymore. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. I am sitting here staring at my screen, completely sleep deprived, my brain absolutely short-circuiting, because what in the actual dystopian nightmare is happening to Phyllis Summers right now? Look, I have been riding this Genoa City roller coaster for what feels like centuries, but this is the breaking point. This is where the script gets shredded, and we need to talk about the raw, unfiltered reality of what Victor Newman just pulled. Suddenly, out of nowhere, we are supposed to just accept that Phyllis is being tossed out of Newman Enterprises like yesterday's trash under the threat of actual prison time? Basically, my sanity is hanging by a thread right now. Listen, we need to talk about the absolute sheer audacity of Victor Newman. Unbelievable, guys. What's going on here? The man literally corners Phyllis, who has bled, sweat, and clawed her way through every single corporate and personal minefield in this town, and tells her she has to walk away from Newman Enterprises or he will personally see to it that she rots in a jail cell. I mean, are you kidding me? We are talking about a total game changer here, but not in a good way. This isn't just a corporate reshuffle. This is a hostile takeover of a woman's entire life and freedom. Victor is sitting there in his high-backed leather chair, pulling the strings like some omnipotent puppet master, using the absolute worst moments of Phyllis's life as leverage to force her out. And honestly, it is making my blood boil. The sheer hypocrisy of Victor Newman threatening someone with jail time when his own rap sheet reads like a standalone true crime encyclopedia is a major flex of pure, unadulterated arrogance. Basically, Phyllis is being backed into a corner with zero exits, and it is physically painful to watch. She didn't just wake up and decide to resign. She was violently, force times, off the corporate cliff. Look, I know Phyllis isn't a saint. I know she has a history of destructive cycles and making choices that literally make us all scream at our televisions. But to be stripped of her power, her position, and her dignity under the threat of being locked up, that is a lethal crunch to her entire identity. Suddenly, she is out on the streets of Genoa City, stripped of the Newman armor, completely exposed, and carrying the heavy, suffocating weight of Victor's blackmail. She is spiraling, and honestly, who wouldn't? You dedicate yourself, you play the game, and then bam! The mustache decides you are an expendable pawn in his grand scheme to reclaim his empire. And then, just when you think the psychic damage has peaked, we get that gut-wrenching, soul-crushing scene at Society. Listen, I need to take a deep breath because Daniel Ramalotti is single-handedly testing my sanity right now. Phyllis, completely broken, stripped of her corporate crown, goes to her own son for a shred of comfort, a tiny microscopic crumb of empathy, and what does Daniel do? He absolutely eviscerates her. He stands there looking down his nose at the woman who gave him life and basically tells her she hasn't learned a single thing. He accuses her of playing the victim. Excuse me? She was literally just blackmailed with a prison sentence by a billionaire tyrant. How is that playing the victim when you are the actual victim of extortion? Daniel's harsh rejection, right? When Phyllis is at her absolute lowest, is a low-key obsession of mine right now because it is just so profoundly cruel. Whoa, wait, I am getting so heated I can barely type. Let's really look at Daniel for a second. This guy acts like he has walked on water his entire life. Have we completely forgotten the chaotic, messy, illegal things he has done? Suddenly, he is the moral compass of Genoa City? Honestly, it makes me want to throw my monitor out the window. He sees his mother bleeding out emotionally, knowing she was forced out, not that she volunteered, but forced out by Victor, and he still chooses to twist the knife. He thinks she hasn't done anything to deserve forgiveness. Well, honestly, Daniel, what have you done to deserve this high horse you're riding? It's like he wants her to be destroyed. He sees her desperate need for a lifeline, her desperate need for just one person to say, I know you were blackmailed. I know you had no choice. And he actively chooses to deny her that grace. It is a major flex of emotional cruelty. And honestly, it makes my stomach turn. We have watched Phyllis move heaven and earth for this boy. We have watched her sacrifice her own sanity to keep him safe over the years. And the second she is caught in Victor Newman's crosshairs, facing the literal loss of her freedom, Daniel just folds his arms and turns his back. Whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension of Romolotti family history. My bad. Bringing the signal back, let's stick to the script. The core issue here is Phyllis's absolute lack of a support system after Victor's nuclear strike. She walks away from Daniel at society completely shattered, leaving a trail of absolute devastation in her wake. And this is where the plot takes a hypervelocity jump cut into the Twilight Zone, because guess who steps out of the shadows to be the voice of reason? Sharon Newman. Yes, you heard me correctly. Sharon is the one who watches this entire tragic exchange and actually feels a pang of empathy. Listen, the Sharon and Phyllis dynamic is a total game changer right now. Sharon sees Phyllis walking away from Daniel, completely defeated, and she doesn't gloat, she doesn't cheer. Suddenly, Sharon realizes that Phyllis is a human being who has just been pushed to the absolute brink. Sharon turns to Noah and basically points out that Phyllis needs to be acknowledged. She needs validation. Sharon, of all people, understands what it is like to be treated like an outcast. She knows what it feels like to have the entire town of Genoa City look at you like you are a pariah. So Sharon tracks Phyllis down at the coffee house, and we get this incredibly raw, unfiltered moment of solidarity. It is a major flex for Sharon's character development, honestly. She looks at Phyllis, a woman who's drowning in the aftermath of Victor's blackmail and Daniel's rejection, and throws her a lifeline. And Sharon hits the nail right on the head. Basically, she realizes that after everything that happened at the clinic, and now being violently ejected from Newman Enterprises by Victor's jail time ultimatum, Phyllis is desperately craving control. When your entire life is dictated by a ruthless billionaire threatening to lock you in a cage, you lose all sense of agency. You become a ghost in your own life. Sharon tells Phyllis that she cannot just give up. If Phyllis is treated like a monster, an outcast, a criminal who deserves to be blackmailed, she will have absolutely zero motivation to change or make the right choices. Why bother being good when the world and your own son has already convicted you? Sharon is literally the only person in this town right now who is looking at the psychological fallout of Victor's actions and saying, wait, why are we like this? Why are we destroying this woman? But let's circle back to the architect of all this misery, Victor Newman. Look, we all know Victor is ruthless, but the sheer calculation here is terrifying. He gets Newman Enterprises back. He honors his little deal to hand Chancellor over to Lily Winters, who is currently riding high on a massive victory, completely oblivious to the blood on the boardroom floor. And he does it all by threatening Phyllis with prison. Victor doesn't care about justice. He cares about power. He needed Phyllis gone, so he weaponized her past, held the keys to a jail cell over her head, and forced her to surrender. And now he is back at the ranch, playing God with Matt, subjecting him to some twisted psychological test of sincerity, completely unbothered by the fact that he just detonated a nuclear bomb in Phyllis's life. Even Nick is looking at Victor like he has lost his mind, worrying about how this Chancellor deal is going to crush Nikki. But Victor is basically a stone-cold wall. Listen, let's unpack Victor's God complex for a second, because it is actively making me lose my mind. Suddenly, he is acting like the ultimate judge, jury, and executioner of Genoa City. He doesn't just want to win. He wants to absolutely obliterate his opponents so they never even think about standing back up. Forcing Phyllis out wasn't enough. He had to attach the most terrifying, life-altering condition to it: actual prison time. He knows exactly what Phyllis's freedom means to her. He knows she would rather die than be locked in a cage, stripped of her fierce independence. By using the threat of jail, Victor didn't just fire her, he broke her spirit. He orchestrated this entire hostile takeover with surgical precision, ensuring that when she fell hard enough to shatter. And honestly, the fact that he is just sitting at the ranch right now, casually organizing fresh clothes and a shower for his hostage Matt, while Phyllis is out there bleeding out emotionally, is a level of psychopathy that I cannot even begin to comprehend. Wait, why are we like this? Why do we keep letting Victor get away with this absolute madness? Honestly, I am just sitting here vibrating with rage and anticipation because you cannot keep Phyllis Summers down. You can blackmail her. You can threaten her with prison. You can take her job, her company, and her dignity. You can even have her own son publicly disown her at society. But listen to me and listen to me closely. Phyllis is a survivor. She is a legacy powerhouse who thrives in the ashes of her own destruction. Sharon knows it. Sharon literally pushes Phyllis to prove that she is not a quitter. And honestly, I need Phyllis to ignite that fire. I need her to take all this psychic damage, all this raw, unedited pain from Victor's extortion and Daniel's betrayal, and forge it into the most lethal revenge plot Genoa City has ever seen. I need her to walk back into that corporate arena and make Victor regret the day he ever uttered the word jail in her presence. Look, I am exhausted. My brain is fried. I am caught in a chaotic feedback loop of transcendent hype for Phyllis's inevitable comeback and absolute narrative betrayal over how she is being treated right now. It is 3 a.m., my eyes are burning, and I am dumping all this trauma onto the digital hive mind because I literally cannot carry it alone anymore. Victor Newman thinks he has won. Daniel thinks he has the moral high ground. But basically, they have just awakened a sleeping dragon. The fallout from this forced resignation is going to be biblical. I am strapping in. I am holding on for dear life. And I am begging the writers to let Phyllis unleash absolute hell on everyone who doubted her. Until then, I am going to try and get some sleep before my sanity completely evaporates.
Thank you for watching my video. I will be updating regularly with the latest news, so please remember to subscribe to my channel to support me.